Hello and welcome to the Trisbrina Show. I am Tristan and that over there is obviously Sabrina. Duh. You know what? Who says you need positive thinking anyway? I mean, really, it's more than it's cracked up to be. I get that there are a gazillion positive thinking books in the bookstores, and I know they have their place, and I have read a lot of them, and so has she, and I'm certain that you have too. But we really do want to talk about a hack that helps take us from the positive thinking mode into something completely different. We will dive into this right now. My dear, I know that you and I met many moons ago because we had a lot of stuff, a lot of stress, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety.
We were talking about this yesterday.
We're talking about it. Yeah, we'll go on there. And I bet that before you and I met, you'd already done a lot of positive thinking work. I had. Louise Hay. I know you were doing Shirley MacLaine, Shakti Gawain. I was doing a lot of Wayne Dyer.
Anything that had an ang sound to it, I was doing.
Obviously, things like Earl Nightingale, studying. And we are not poo-pooing any of those people in any way.
Can we not say poo-pooing right now?
Inside joke. However, over time and through the journey of meditation and energy work, there's been some perspective shifts around the concept of positive thinking. And that's what we want to unpack today.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's true.
Okay.
In response to one of the questions...
Are you really doing that? Are we doing a TV? Okay, time for a commercial.
Well, just somebody asked.
It's fine. We can have a commercial.
Yeah.
For all of our sponsors... That was the...
Discount Shoe Warehouse. The J-Lo, they're so comfortable, I just want to say. And then we'll move on.
I'm going to pull the squirrel back. Okay, sit, squirrel.
Sit, boo-boo.
Sit, boo-boo. Come on, honey boo.
Okay.
So, look, positive thinking in its own place, in its own right, has a place. But we believe and we feel and we experience that there's something that can happen before positive thinking that can totally change your experience around positive thinking.
Well, let's just have a talk here.
Let's do that.
So you could think, can you turn that music off for me? So some people think positive thinking is... you walk outside and it's cold and you're like, it's cold, I can't stand it's cold. And then you say, I like this weather. But energetically and
say it again. I like this weather.
Yeah,
say it again.
The words and the frequency and what you're trying to think isn't in alignment with what you're feeling. And that's where there's an issue. That's kind of like the positive thinking that's silly. Because what you're thinking, for me, comes out of what I'm feeling. They're married. It's a beautiful marriage. So you actually need to shift what you're feeling in that moment. And sometimes you can talk yourself through it. Like in the example I just gave, you walk outside and it's really cold. And even if you can't say you like it, you can say, this cold weather really helps me appreciate those warm days. Like you can kind of try to get out of the complaining, this sucks, like, because that energy doesn't help anything. How does it help anything to just be like, I don't like this, sit in it when I want? There's nothing good can come out of that.
I remember when I was a little boy and my mom took me and a couple of her friends to go like on a park and a hike and stuff, and I remember and I was little, I was probably like 5 or 6, and I walked a couple of steps with all the, the grown-ups, and I tripped and fell, and my hand went right in. Can you believe I'm going to say this? Poo.
Poo!
I fell in the poo.
It's the week of poo.
The week of poo and the Tao of poo. So I had poo-poo all over my hand, and they didn't have any water, and we had driven a really long way, and everybody, was going to have this great thing, and poor little me, it was not good. It was a fresh one, too, the doggy. So you know what my mommy did? Mommy wiped my hand in the grass, and she sprayed perfume on my hand so that it wouldn't smell like poo.
That's such a great illustration of positive thinking.
When you put it on top of
crap.
poo thinking,
Crap.
it's just trying to cover it up. And so a lot of times people aren't addressing what's there, and they're trying to lay the happy face mask on top of the sad face, and the vibration is still there.
Yeah.
It doesn't last. It doesn't even stick. It doesn't even get rid of the smell. You can still smell it. It's still there.
You can't trick God. You can't trick the spirit. You can't trick yourself.
Yeah, vibration rules. So what we found through meeting and meditating and aligning to the inner being, which we call the brain of your being, that there's an inner guidance, there's an inner knowing, there's a soul density that actually has thoughts. But they're not positive thoughts. They're just thoughts that are birthed from consciousness, from love, from joy, from pure beingness. And that when you're in that state of consciousness, and we definitely need to talk about how to tap into that and truly tap into that and then live in that, that your thinking mind will naturally be upgraded by your inner being, right? So then what starts to happen is your thoughts become aligned thoughts. You don't need positive thinking. You don't need to spray the perfume. Now, you might notice that your thoughts shift and you find more aligned thoughts, but those thoughts are completely in a vibrational alignment with what you're feeling.
So here's something to ponder.
Here we go.
Why would you need a positive thought?
Why do you need a positive thought?
Well, I think a lot of people are seeking a positive thought because they have just previously judged something as negative. So there was a situation that had no judgment on it. It just is what it is. And they see the habit, or just, we just spew, man, this line is too long. It's a bunch of crap. We have an appointment. Our appointment's at 1 o'clock. It's 2:15. Why hasn't the line moved? Right? You catch that.
You're really good at that.
Who's in charge? They should be fired.
Right.
This is not organized. And so the intention of thinking positive is really good.
Sure.
Right?
Totally.
How awesome. Like the first thing is to catch it.
Yeah.
But you can't just stay in negative Nelly naysayer naggy nag.
Negative Nelly naysayer naggy nag.
And then put
Say that a
something
few
positive
times.
on top of it. You actually have to take her over here.
Oh.
You have to say, Nelly, you're getting the vaccine today. The line is longer than we thought. It's really cold out, but it's going to be so awesome when we do this. Like you kind of have to stair step it, and that would be a positive thing, moving towards the positive than this trying to go like, and isn't it great that they're running super late and we're still in this line? Like that's the kind of crap thing.
Yeah, that's so super phony. And you can't get around that. You know that just doesn't last. We've all tried it, I'm sure. Doing positive affirmations, but not upgrading the vibration. I was on a clubhouse earlier with some people and some folks who were popular, known.
Clubhouse is like a Facebook with only audio.
And they were having a conversation about the movie The Secret and how... this person actually didn't come up with it, but somebody attributed it to them. But that the reality of law of attraction isn't what you're thinking as much as what you're feeling. And those teachings go, to like Abraham Hicks and people like that who really made that clear. That yes, your vibration and your feelings are the dominant factor.
Jesus,
yeah. We can go back to Jesus too. Right? So what you're vibrating, what you're feeling ultimately is what's going to dictate the outcome. So is it good to have positive thinking? Well, I think it's a good check-in. Like, what are my thoughts right now? Like, what am I projecting? What am I putting out? And it's going to sound, obviously, when you listen to your thoughts, especially when you start meditating, you can hear your mind. You can sense the negativity. You can feel the out of alignment way more. And that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That bothers people. But that's a good thing. You should be bothered by that. Me now today know that when I'm in a negative thinking loop, I am so not connected to who I really am. We've been talking lately about the who identity or the true identity, like truly being who you are. And how do you know who you are if you haven't dropped all of that programming and that negativity and all that story stuff and all the conditioning and all the reactivity? You'll never really, really know, because that shit keeps you looping in negativity. So for me, I would say the first step is to basically let go of the negativity. Don't even try to be positive. Don't even try to be joy and love. Just stop doing that thing you do.
Yeah.
And just settle down.
Totally.
Let the dust settle into this moment and see what's there. And you might notice that there's some loud stuff, but then you start to practice this art of witnessing it. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we start getting super zen. But it's a really beautiful thing to let it be there, but not try to fix it. So a lot of positive thinking is about fixing something that's broken. But now you're focusing on what's broken and you're trying to lay positive thinking on top of it, and you never resolve the root cause.
Yeah.
What's the root cause? Disrupted energy. Disrupted energy is what leads to negative thinking and negative emotions. And if people could really get that, they would certainly dive much deeper into their energy practice. We are energy beings before we are physical beings. We are birthed from energy, from consciousness, from light, from source. So why don't we just skip to the front of the line? Seriously, pass go, get the $200, skip, and just go right into that place where in this light everything is right. Yeah. And the thoughts naturally upgrade. And this is what I've been sharing with our students lately is stop trying to fix all the freaking poo-poo thinking.
Poo-poo?
Just poo-poo thinking. Potty head thinking. Just drop it. Stop it. Check in. Be here now. Let it be.
I like that. Stop it. Drop it.
And check in right now. Seriously. And just, but that comes, that's a, you got to surrender. People, some don't like the surrender word. It feels weak. Come on. Surrender, let go, trust that there is something more conscious, more hip, more in the know than this shit.
Yeah.
Right? And then when that inner being, and I move it from here because I feel so much inner connectivity in the brain of my being and my soul and my heart center, that I get what we believe a true Satori is not a download. It's an upload. It's where that pure essence that you were birthed with, that's baked into your being, goes boom, and you have an aha moment. And you're like, oh. And you might not be able to articulate it with words right away, but you're in a state of presence. You see things as they are. You are not labeling, judging, opinioning, preferencing. You are just present. Mm-hmm. And your thoughts naturally follow that vibration. Yeah. Now you're in positive thinking, but it's really more aligned thinking. That's my case.
Like when you say negative thinking and positive thinking, it's like putting a filter on what is. Yeah. And when what is just connected to all that is good, you don't need a filter. So here, as you would say, let's play a game.
I like games.
Okay. And all of you here joining us live, you can play it right now in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you can play it. Play it too. And really, like, I know, we're all fun and games, but think about this for a second. You think about it for a second.
Can it just be about it?
No.
I gotta think.
So, what would be, and you heard me talking about this earlier, what would be 2 emotions that I get into the most often that cause me to have the negative feelings? Because we all have patterns and we repeat them. It's not something that happens all the time. What would be the emotional
triggers?
No, not the triggers. What are the actual feelings? Like, I could tell you what yours are, but you should discover them yourself.
Shut up right now. So am I going to tell you what yours are?
You could.
And these are feelings?
Yeah, the overused emotions that I get into when certain things happen that usually trigger something in me.
Feeling like there's
wait.
Okay.
Do you know?
I think I know.
For you?
For myself?
Yeah, so it's going to be something like you find yourself a martyr? Do you find yourself frustrated? Do you find yourself angry? Do you find yourself a bully? Do you find yourself depressed? Do you find yourself a victim?
All of the above depends on the day.
No, you're going to find there's like 2 that are your main squeezes.
Okay. And we go out on dates a lot? Me and these emotions?
Let's take 10 seconds and
everybody
think
do
about
it.
them.
Do your own. Hey. All right. Well, frustration is definitely...
Wait.
What? All right. Is it too soon?
Too soon?
Ready? Too soon? 1.
Wait, shh.
2. Shh. Be quiet. 10 seconds. On the clock. Check in. What are the ones that get you the most?
It's really good to think about it because when you feel it again, you're going to be like, oh, this is my go-to.
Sort of a go-to vibration.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you want
People
me to say
are already
mine or
starting.
yours?
Go ahead and say mine, and I'll tell you if you're right. Since you know me
I
so
can
well.
say mine.
Okay, say yours.
My number 1 is that I get really frustrated.
I can see in quite a few of those.
I get very frustrated. I get frustrated that, why don't you understand this? We agreed you would do this. Why haven't you
She's
done it?
not talking about me.
No. Just
She might be.
Frustrated, and my frustration has a little topping of martyr on it. For sure.
I would agree.
That would be my number 1. What's your number 1?
Well, the one that hurts the most, but I don't know if I'm in it the most. But it's the one that pisses me off the most, too.
You're pissed off is yours. That's your number 1.
But that's just a reaction.
Well, so is frustration.
Sure, but what... Okay, so you said the trigger doesn't matter? What I really don't like, and the emotion that wraps me up the most, is when someone says they're going to do something, and... no, it's not even that. It's more of like the energy of like... Mine's too big.
What do you
Mine's
feel?
too
What do you
big.
feel? You feel hurt? You feel angry? Do you feel pissed off?
All roll those into one.
No, you're freaking angry.
I'm pissed.
Yeah, you're pissed.
I get pissed.
He gets pissed.
I get pissed. But
Like
that's
us
not an
together
emotion.
negatively is
Pissed is
pissed
a
and
reaction.
pushed.
The emotion is I feel hurt.
Yeah,
The truth is I feel hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because here's the thing with the ego.
I think that's under.
When
all
you
of it.
feel hurt, you want to get back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hurt people back. I just want to express how pissed I am. So that would be mine. Yes, it's betrayal for me, Susan. And you felt it coming off my lips, right? But see, that's not an everyday occurrence. So I wasn't sure where Sabrina was taking this. But yeah, betrayal is the big one for me. Because I'm all about loyalty and trust. And if you say you're my friend and we're connecting and we're investing time in each other, and then you like ghost or you do something weird, yeah, I have to work through it. And I would love to get to a point where I could just release that much quicker. But I'm very cautious. I'm very select in who I invite in. Have you guys been like that because of being hurt also?
Yeah.
I'm very select of who I invite in. And so to me, those relationships are very important.
Yeah.
And so then when something happens, but here's, and I didn't mean for this to turn into this, but what I've found is I have got to practice forgiveness much faster. Mm-hmm. And what I learned about forgiveness is it's not for the other person. And I know you guys have heard that, but I caught it really strong the other day because I was hurt by something. And I'm not ashamed to say I get hurt because, I'm this tough sensei and I shouldn't get hurt. My feelings get hurt. They don't bring me to my knees anymore. But what I realized about forgiveness is a vibration. And forgiveness is for you more than the other person. Mm-hmm. That's really important.
But when you're hurt,
it eats you
the
up.
costume that is worn is a lot of times anger, and
What
I think
does that
the
look
word
like?
is stomping.
I don't stomp.
boom,
I don't stomp.
Yeah, I'm not even talking to you. Yeah,
That's stomping. I don't
you
stomp.
stomp.
Do not. I punch bags.
Okay. And I like what you're saying in the chat, and I just realized that a lot of my frustration, one of you said impatient.
Disappointed.
Roberta.
That's a big one.
I think that my frustration, It's so funny. If somebody asked me one of my greatest traits, I would say that I'm patient, except when I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm really patient, like teaching someone to dance. I'm really patient as a teacher. But then in life, when it's like, can you do this? Can you do that? And there's just like, do we have to have so many words to communicate? I'm always like, let's go, 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 go. Yeah, so my frustration is impatience. And that is not saying that somebody else needs to be faster. I'm looking at my go-to bullcrap of what I tend to feel. Well, I don't need to feel that. I don't need to act that out.
This is really good what you've created.
Thank
Because what's happening here is you guys are all, this is more real, right? We're expressing what we feel like. Respect, Nancy said, disrespect is one that really gets her, right?
Oh, that's a really
When
good
someone
one.
disrespects you.
Yeah.
I love what Barbara said. She said not forgiving. This is like a beautiful Buddha teaching. Not forgiving is like drinking rat poison and expecting the rat to die. And yes, it just eats you up and
Yeah.
it burns up your life force. But what's really cool about seeing these emotions and being able to identify them is that they are vibrations. They are vibrations that got disrupted. Because one person might say to you, "You're a pink elephant." You're like, "Ha ha ha!" But when they say, "Oh, you're selfish and you're this and that, and you didn't do what you said you were going to do," and that triggers you, it messed up it disrupted you, and then the negative thought comes.
Yeah.
See, it's first the thing, the disruption, then the thought. So what's the solution? Clean up the energy disruption, and the thought goes back to thoughts of kindness and love and
Yeah.
etc.
So let's think about another one.
Can I say one last thing about forgiveness? Mm-hmm. What I realized
See how
also,
patient I was?
you're beautiful. I love how you like role play with me and invite me into the conversation. It's really awesome. With the forgiveness thing, it doesn't go. You can't think your way into forgiveness, right? You can't lay positive thinking on top of betrayal or something where you feel
No.
hurt and say, "Well, I forgive them." You didn't, because you still feel it inside. So what we're really talking about here is something way beyond positive thinking and affirmations. We're talking about truly releasing and returning. Keyword returning to your highest state of consciousness, because then you can do all the PD, personal development. You're like a master
Yeah.
of personal development. It totally is the quickening in becoming a masterful personal development ninja.
So as I'm reading, I mean, you guys are putting some incredible things in the chat. And so what I want to say is to take responsibility. Like, let's say we have a bunch of files on our desk. We have a filing drawer, and there's a bunch of files. And the one for me that's labeled frustrated and patience, I'm going to say I tend to stick a lot of papers in there. Right? That's not on anybody but me. So it's almost like I look for that because I've been hurt by that before. So knowing that that's my go-to, I have to then second guess, is that even the right reaction to the situation? Because how can it be that 90% of things are frustrating and impatient? Right? That's got to be on me. Common denominator. Back to
Common denominator.
fourth grade,
It's
right?
us, yeah.
Fractions. Common denominator. Okay. Let's think of it. Let's say our second one.
Guys, if you have another one, go ahead and share it.
A lot of them have been sharing too, but
Those are my big ones. I rolled them all together. Hurt, frustrated. You guys said impatient. I definitely have had that one.
I'm trying to find a word that means like, I can't believe you don't see me. I can't even believe you would think that about me.
Disbelief.
Like, and it makes me feel very hurt. Like when somebody says something to you and you're like,
How do you even come up with that?
you
don't know me. You don't see me.
I thought
It's hurt.
I thought you knew me. Like, it's absolutely impossible for me to feel that way. It's impossible for me to do that. It's what you're thinking about me could never happen in a million years. If you had even smelled me from 12 feet away, you would never be able to think that about me. How in the world could you think that about me?
But you know when that comes up, and just to be honest with ourselves, there's something in us that
I'm so afraid of
is
that.
afraid of that. is afraid that maybe we do have some of that inside ourselves. And so you really get to, when you get a trigger and you catch it.
Yeah, misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
That's the perfect word.
Really sit with it.
That's a great one.
Yeah, feeling totally judged and misunderstood, not seen. That's a big one for me. Absolutely. Because my heart is pure. I want to help you. I'm here to serve. And then when somebody would throw something like that, you'd be like, wait a minute. Now, here's the thing. It depends who says it.
Yeah.
Right?
I have a subfolder.
That's really important. Because if it's just like some person random that says it, you don't care. It's the people who you have invested with that it really matters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the people that you
They're
love.
the ones who are closest to us.
I have This is really, really interesting because I'm actually seeing now a filing cabinet and I'm pulling out the drawer and I'm seeing all the files and there's some subfiles like with the one that we said before, frustration. I have that subfile of impatience and frustration. And with being misunderstood, it's like I'm invisible. Like I'm invisible. I'm not noticed. I'm not seen. I'm not valued. Not being valued. That's totally it. Because I felt it like I was going to throw up when I said it.
Mine's a big F you. It's sort of like you're dead to me.
Yeah.
But that's a cover up for feeling hurt. But like if someone crosses that line, I've seen that quality in my nature. Not my nature, not my true nature, but in my personality, which is just because it got hurt so much as a kid. I'm like, well, you'll never hurt me again because you don't exist, right? That's not healthy. Just FYI. To be able to witness it, see it for what it is, and send love back.
Yeah.
And that's the most empowering thing that we can aspire to, is to, no matter what's going on the outside, no matter what anyone is saying or doing, that you can, thank you, Mr. Yogananda, stand unshaken in your being, no matter what's coming, because you are connected to love, to truth, your truth. You are connected to seeing things without judgment. That includes yourself, and that you can just be. Be the pure love. You don't need positive thinking for that. But you do need to drop your this shit to get to that. Then if you want to like understand psychologically what your triggers are so you can catch them sooner and can reconnect sooner, great. To me, that's where personal development shines in my life. Yeah. Because I want to understand it. Like we're having this conversation right now. We're really unpacking personal development. Yep. But we're sharing with you that the ultimate quickening is to drop in to who you are.
Yep. I want to say two things before I forget. So that poor person that doesn't see me and thinks something of me that bothers me, my reaction to them and my hurt, my misunderstanding, they get the whole file. Right? When you have that thing and it's just one piece of paper in the file, they don't get all that. So that's a really, really fun visual, is that when you have a whole file of misunderstood and you're adding that one more paper, they get it all. But what if you just shred the document?
Yeah, I love that.
Why are we keeping those files? That's what's empowering them anyway. But right now, I'm kind of excited to have said out loud these few things, because I know when I feel that again, I'm going to remember, hey, I'm the common denominator here. Now, I can disassociate with the person that is maybe doing an action that makes me feel that way. Absolutely. I can stop having that conversation if that works for me. But to empower myself in the truth of truth. Because the only reason it bothers us is because we're afraid it's true.
Another one that's caught me up, and Marquita brought it to mind, is it's hard to let something go when you feel justified in your position. But I am right. I am right and they are wrong. But who cares? If we're in pain, here's the ultimate just check in. Are you suffering in your frustration or your hurt? Are you disconnected from your beauty and your power? Are you giving the power away to whoever and whatever situation? I'm like, why am I giving away my power?
To this thing I don't like.
I don't even care. Why am I doing this? This is retarded. To myself, I'm like, this is a saboteur moment. Stop it. Remember, and I'll tell you, I had one not long ago, and the answer, the reason I got excited about this tonight, because the answer was so freaking easy, and I was skipping it. Take your meditation. Just like your medication, take your meditation. I just sat down. I went into my third eye. I connected to the breath. I released this story. Because I know how. I'm like, why am I not using the tools that I teach and I know? Because there was something there for me, and it was good. I'm glad I got up in the brambles a little bit and got a little frustrated and then worked through it, because now I've gone deeper into my connection to love. So it's all good. We don't have to beat ourselves up. But I super dropped in. And then the vibration started happening and the remembering started happening, and I was back. And then I had a good laugh, and I had a lot more compassion for me and for others than I've ever had before. So we get to use everything to grow. And then all the positive thinking was right there. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, my thoughts got upgraded naturally. Because I tried really hard in my head to change the story. Yeah. And it just was like trying to put ducks in a row, and they just kept running around.
I just thought of, so there's this female online entrepreneur coach, and I've seen sides of her and experienced sides of her, and she's had conversations with us that are completely not aligned with the persona she is online, and seemingly with a lot of other thought leaders. So it's like I feel like I've seen this side of her that others haven't seen, and I'll be like with leaders online, and they'll be giving this person kudos, and I'll be like, I start getting like really frustrated, and I care. I'm like, are you kidding? She's this and she's that. Why are you saying those things about me? Because that's in there too.
Right.
Why are we even talking about her? I'm here. You're not talking about me at all.
Yeah.
And so in those situations, just looking at what stake do I have in that? What is my investment in all those different things? And will it really make any difference in my life in any way if I expose her? How would that ever help me? Just little things like that, where like sometimes we want that person, you want other people to know what they did or what they said, or that person isn't what everybody thinks. But that will never lead to any happiness for me. Yeah, it usually turns on you when you're the tattletale anyway. And just seeing all the places that you can get stuck. It's just, there's that analogy about, just keeping an open hand. Don't hold on to things. Don't hold on to grudges. Don't hold on to ideas of how people are. Let other people change so that people can let you change. We say that all the time. Everyone gets a pass. If I want to give myself a pass for everything I've done that's been out of alignment, I got to give others a pass.
Totally.
I have to give everyone else a clean start every single day if I want a clean start every day.
That's huge. That's really beautiful. Yeah. Why hold somebody in the past? Because we're still hurt. Sometimes hurt is a way of trying to get back at someone. What? Yeah. By showing that you hurt me, in a way, you're trying to say, look what you did to me, and make them feel bad and maybe apologize, which, whatever. So someone apologizes. You know who the apology's for, right? The apology's for yourself. That's self-forgiveness. Hey, I'm really sorry that I was a doink. Good. I'm glad that you were able to have that apology. Do you feel better? And you might take that and feel good with that. And I guess that's okay on one level, but still the work is you. Yeah. Right? The work's still in you. If you can do that, it's more empowering than waiting for someone to apologize, because they might not. So don't be waiting, because they might not. They may never.
Or they might and they don't mean it.
And then, so those apologies are so thin, they don't mean shit.
Yeah.
So do the work. The apology it's almost like Ho'oponopono. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Who are you sorry to? I'm sorry, soul, that I left you. And I, not disrespected, but in a way, I left you and I forgot who I am. Sorry is just a word, but it's more of a vibration. You're saying to your soul, I love you. I love you. Thank you for the lesson. Please forgive me. Okay, yeah, because I want to be in my home.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to myself. Yeah, there was no need to put myself through that.
Yep.
But I'll take all the lessons I can get. Because why? We're in soul school.
You know, and if you think about it, like I just saw Trish, was saying something really profound. It's hard when people let you down.
Yeah.
And disappoint you. But I think about so many times I'm looking for that love of God. I'm looking for that all loving, all forgiving, all knowing outside of myself.
Yeah.
And if somebody can't be that for themselves, how can they be it for me? And most people, we're all doing the best we can. And it really isn't fair of me to ask anyone to be for me what I should be seeking on the inside. And however evolved that person is in their consciousness and in all different levels of emotions and what they've been through up until now, a lot of times people are doing the best they can. Not that it's okay and not that it's right and not that I'm not going to walk away and find a new friend. Right?
Totally.
Absolutely, totally.
See ya.
Shifting who I spend time with.
Yeah.
But most of the time, the hurt that I feel is because I have an expectation that someone should be more, better than they are, and that they should be what I think they should be. And I'm not really loving them just for the way that they are. And so that's on me. I can't ask anyone. I can't ask Tristan to be
something they're not.
That unconditional love for me all the time. Because he's frustrated and angry sometimes, right? And vice versa.
You make me sound like this frustrated, crazy person.
I'm frustrated and impatient.
Well, we are all, I think, on our journey. We all have things. But my dominant vibration is absolutely love.
Yeah, but I love that you're not bland.
Yeah, you did not marry a bland person. So my MO
or a victim.
My MO has been that I suppressed a lot as a child. And I kept everything inside, and I felt so hurt. And when I learned martial arts, I realized it was okay to express yourself and to yell and to scream and to release, but not from a place of anger, because we were taught to evolve from anger into just expressing energy and releasing it so that it could move into higher vibration. So that's something that I've maintained in my life. If I am frustrated, I will own it. So when we're talking about frustration, it is no longer pointing the finger and blaming because you got 3 fingers pointing right back. I always own my vibration. I might tell you how I feel, but it's always, and I think that's an important thing for all of us. If you're the type of person who's pretty young, so I'll go and work out, I'll punch a bag, I'll run, I'll release. But I find that very healthy.
Yeah.
Suppressing and repressing can turn into a host of physiological and emotional problems. So I'm done suppressing.
Because it's energy.
It's energy.
I think the scariest thing is not to feel. And I kind of understand that when I could go numb over some things. But if you feel, it's good to feel angry or upset or hurt or frustrated because you can point that energy in the direction that you want it.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Apathy? Like, that's
that's
tough.
apathy.
I love that quote, Barbara.
And that's beautiful.
I did then what I knew how to do. Now that I know better, I do better.
You guys are sharing such beautiful things in the chat. You guys are so amazing.
Oh. It's really been helpful for you guys to put into words the feelings that you feel. And I see that you can just see humanity. We almost all feel the same way. And I think it boils down to feeling that we're not seen. And maybe that's because it goes back to what I just said. We're looking to be seen from the outside, and we have to be seen from the inside out and then be seen from the outside in.
These are really beautiful conversations to have with the community and with each other. I love how you are supporting each other also here. And we never know exactly how things are going to unfold with our show. We started talking about, positive thinking and what's behind, obviously, that we've exposed, and you've helped us expose today, a lot of why people use positive thinking. Mm-hmm. They're laying it on top of emotions that need some healing, some energy that needs some flowing and some correcting. Yeah. And so we love the Qigong, and we love meditation, and we love being able to have healthy conversations like this about our human condition. We are humans. We are not here to try to act perfect and all spiritual. It's better to be super real and own your vibration and be on the path of, the martial artists call it Buddha, which means love. Be on the path of awakening to love and joy. Like, this should be fun. And like everything that happens, like, I am so grateful right now for a lot of the hardships and negative emotions that have shown up, because I made a promise to myself that in this life, that I would use the purpose of this life to fully awaken, to truly fully awaken to this vibration. I'm going to stick to my truth. Like, vibration's everything. Vibration never lies. This can lie. Blah, blah, blah can lie. But this, if you're listening, there's no lie. You can't fake love. You can't fake a genuine smile. You can't fake forgiveness. Like, it is just, it's so pure, and it's so real, and it's so rad, and there's nothing better.
So I have a little thing, it's hard to explain, but when I feel those things that feel so bad, I like take a walk with it, not even physically, but I'm trying to walk my way into a better feeling thought. So like, I'm participating in a launch right now, and I'm mailing for this person, and she puts like the top 10 in an order and then writes something after their name. And after my name, it was like, great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. And then after my name was a little poke, or that's the way it seemed, right? And I was like, I'm totally supporting you. I could be doing other things with my time. You're not doing shit in my direction. What the hell? And really like, well, I'm out. I take my leads back, like blah, 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 and so I kind of had to take a walk with it. And
take a walk with it. That's good.
Yeah. And I'm like walking my way like, oh, is that like how sometimes I write a joke and people misunderstand it and they don't know that I'm teasing and that it's hurt their feelings, and I feel so devastated that I hurt someone's feelings when I was trying to be playful, and it's totally possible with this person. Or she was just egging me on to support more, or she didn't know what to say after writing things about so many other people, or remembering my experiences with her, or just simply saying, when I get together, I'm gonna tell her how I felt about it. But I walk my way into, it was one sentence, Sabrina.
Right?
It was one sentence. You've been friends.
Start a war over a sentence.
You've been friends for 2.5 years. Yeah. It was one sentence on a Facebook public page post. It wasn't even sent to you directly. And walking my way, it's not that I'm like, I'm so glad she wrote that. It was just like, it took the sting out. It took the sting out. And it was okay. And I didn't have to forgive her, because you know how I say, if you know me, my thing is like, if you know me, how could you think that about me? I flipped it, and I know her. And there's no way she would write something to try to hurt me. She wouldn't.
So guess what? That's beautiful. You flipped that.
Yeah.
And also, that's the most loving thing we can do, because we pull out of others what we project onto them. So when you send love and give love, you're going to get that back, most likely from them too. But if we go into the trigger and we feed it, we feed that in them too. And that's the least loving thing we can do. So benefit of the doubt whenever possible. My big takeaway from this talk, and the thing that I want to remember for the rest of my life, and I'm doing a pretty good job, but I can always improve, is to just take the time, especially when I'm charged or triggered, to listen to my body, listen to my breath, listen to the vibration, and then train my way back into slow breath. I go in through the third eye, calm everything down, just go inside, recalibrate the energy system. I might do some tapping or Qigong type stuff, but ultimately sit and allow my true identity to start coming forward.
Yeah.
right? So I want to move from my head to my heart, and then I let my heart inform my head of who I really am. And that is the ultimate in positive thinking.
Yep.
It's aligned thinking, aligned to soul. That's my takeaway.
I want to share one.
And it doesn't take long. It's so quick.
Something that happened to me this week, and I will share about it in the future. And it's at the end of this broadcast. Not that many people will hear it, but it's been really profound for me. So whenever I wake up at night, even just roll over, if I find a thought that doesn't feel like amazing, it's my habit to move into like I'll say a prayer or conversation with God or higher self or like an allowing or gratitude. I just immediately, even just rolling over, I'm shifting. So it would normally be like, I surrender my box of worries on the doorstep of love. That would actually think that and see myself bowing down, and I know that good things work out for me. Very, very beautiful, right? But this week, when I did that, something said, but you are that which you're speaking to, and switch the roles as the dominant voice. Since there is
this is huge.
The totally connected inner being source, and then there's the human with the emotions. They both exist, and what I love is when they're connected. Well, what if I relate more, because I do, I just wasn't, I relate more to the one with the knowing. And what if in those moments that I roll over, I become the comforter? What if I'm the one that says, hey, sweetie, just put those box of worries down. I got you.
Yeah.
I love you. Things work out for you. I'm here. And I switched the one I identify with, and I'm starting to language in my thoughts, the more conscious one, soothing the one in fear, rather than the one that gets afraid and reacts, asking for help.
That's such an incredible...
It's so huge.
She told me that, and I said, oh, that's identity flipping. You flipped from, I'm going to upgrade, right? People say, be the best version of yourself, upgrade your thoughts, upgrade your life. She just flipped to the true identity, the soul identity, and said, I'm here. I'm the nurturer. I'm the lover. I'm the caretaker. I am the...
Does this make sense to you guys?
Inner guidance. Because she knows herself as that. She just fully embraced it. She just gave herself permission to go there and listen to that, and then everything upgrades to that. See, the mind can follow the soul. It's not the soul trying to heal the mind. Let the mind grow up and align with the soul.
Because what that's going to do more and more is help me to know that the thoughts that I have when I'm aligned, that is the intuition speaking to me, that is internal guidance system, that is how the divine directs and drives my life. But if I keep identifying with the one who's asking, I'm not hearing the purity of the message as clearly as I could if I stay on that channel rather than going back and forth. I'm really excited about it.
I think the key for all of us is when we have these epiphanies is to remember them, right? Especially in your dark bulb moments. We can all have light bulb moments. It's in the dark bulb moments that it really matters. So we love having these conversations to keep our lights bright together, to have these perspective shifts, these mini epiphanies that lead to big satori.
Where can you have this, what we just had together, where we got to expose our biggest hurt in some ways, the emotion that we overuse, the reaction, our go-to reactions, and
tools,
and how to shift it. And we're so fortunate to have found each other.
All of us, to be together in this little bit of time. And you know what? this right here, right now, could have freed somebody up in such a powerful way. If it helped you, please let us know in the chat. It certainly has helped me.
Yeah.
We are here to support each other in Soul School. We're here on this beautiful journey, and we love coming at this from all the different angles. And we're listening in to what you're going through and what's working for you. And we're working on our own lives, and we're being as raw and real as we can. We're using ourselves as the ultimate case study here. We're talking about our own shit so that we can be, just
compassionate to others.
Yeah.
Right?
And truly live what we're talking about here. Not some sage on the stage, not some personal development teaching, and like we're sitting here preaching and teaching and telling everybody else what to do. We're saying, look, this is what we're going through. This is how we're looking at it. This is what's working for us, and sharing it with you guys.
Yeah. And then what's funny is you can say, I can say I'm frustrated, and maybe on the outside at this point, no one would even know. You might know, but even the degree that you feel the emotion, it stops taking over. It just doesn't feel as beautiful as it usually does. I can be really angry, but it's not the anger of not knowing. Like, no matter how angry I get, and I bet you relate to this, there's a part of me that's giggling at the same time. A little part sometimes, but there's a part of me that knows, I'm really acting like a toddler right now. And this is just a passing thing. Where some people, they don't have that. They really think that what they're feeling is real and it's not going to end.
Yeah. Hashtag I live with an awakened being. That's what my life's like. And it's so awesome. All right. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for being. Thank you
for being so active in the chat. We're gonna go sit and read all the comments because you guys gave us so much goodness, and I love that you connected with this conversation, this organic conversation, and the way it bubbled up in all of us and led us to this amazing conclusion, and just all the love that you're showering on us right now.
Yeah, and all the heart bombs too. All right, well, the chat is always on, so if you want to add anything else, you certainly can. And as you heard, we are going to be reading and loving and liking and hearting you throughout the night. Okay, until next time, much love. Bye now.